الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين بالقاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطهار الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. قال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر، ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر، تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام، سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. وَكَظْمِ الْغَيْضِ. Another beautiful segment of dua Makarimul Akhlaq by our fourth Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. As we mentioned, Imam starts within this series of segments to talking about the ornament of the pious individual. What gives beauty and what is the beauty of the pious individual? Yesterday, it was about spreading justice. That was the first ornament. Tonight, we're talking about a very important concept and very important personality that each and every one of us needs to practice getting into habit of it. And that is restraining rage. Imam is teaching us to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, "Oh Allah, bless me in restraining rage," which a lot of people have problem and difficulties with it. Anger, rage, frustration. And many of us, it has been many times within our lives that we became angry and we had rage and we want to control it, but we didn't know how to do it. We didn't know what caused it, and we didn't know how to improve ourselves. And unfortunately, after we were angry and we had rage, we regret whatever we said later on, and whatever we did, and the action that we took, we really regret it. And then we hope that it doesn't happen again. But unfortunately, again and again and again, it happens. Inshallah, today we'll discuss about each segment of this dua. وَكَظْمِ الْغَيْظِ. Restraining rage. What does it mean? What causes it? And how can we prevent it? First, we have to know that there are two different words. Many of us, we have heard about the word ghadab, anger. What is, in that case, ghayz? Because Imam says, وَكَظْمِ الْغَيْظِ, not وَكَظْمِ الْغَضَبِ. Ghadab is anger. When something or someone, an incident or event angers us, that we don't like. Basically, it walks on our nerve. And we let it go and go and go and we become angry. That is ghadab. When this anger transfers into our action, either we become physical or we say something verbally, that is ghayz. When anger overflows, it becomes ghayz. Imam is telling us, teaching us to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, "Oh Allah, when my anger is about to overflow." Back in the days, I don't know if you have seen it, and we've seen it with a lot of Imam Bargas, we have mashk, the skin that we have the water in it. The mashk of Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. When it's about to overflow, they put a cap, they tight it, they restrain it for the water not to fall out of it. So Imam is saying that the moment that our anger is about to overflow and becomes into our action, "Oh Allah, help me restrain it. Help me control it. Help me manage it before it gets out of control." So that's ghadab, angry. And then when it becomes into our action, that is called غيظ. That we want Allah to help us not to reach to that point. Arguably, psychologists argue that ghadab, anger, is not controllable, but rage is. Anger, people make us angry. During the day, there are many things that makes us angry. I don't like this way of living. I don't like this kind of smell. I don't like this kind of taste. I don't like this kind of personality. I don't like this kind of sound, and so on and so forth. Things that makes us angry. Basically, again, things that walk on our nerve. And we let it go, and we ignore it once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5th, then it gets into us. And then start piling and piling and piling. So psychologists said that anger is nothing that we can control, but we can control if we want to change and transfer this anger to rage or not. That is in our hands. That is something that we can control. And they bring evidence in that argument for that to support their argument. For example, us parents that we have kids. Within our house, our kids does something, breaks some things, makes us angry, and we have rage, and we scream, or we become physical. But if we have a guest in our house, he does the same thing. Do we have rage? No. We said, okay, things happen. If, for example, he breaks everything. I have my younger son, 3 years old. He knows it's not good. He takes a cup of water and then he pours it like this. And he said, Dad, I'm doing it. And he just showed it to me. Well, people, if not there, I might get angry. I might have rage. But if people are there, if guests are there, well, it's okay. Well, let's get some napkin and let's just move on with it. So getting to rage is in our hands, and we control it. When we go outside, something that within my own family might get me to rage, when I go outside, I take it completely easy. And I don't get to that level at all. Again, I am controlling when I want to have rage, to become physical or verbal or raise my voice to a limit that, again, later on, I regret. Imam Ali alayhi salam, let's have salawat by his name. Within a beautiful hadith teaches us what is ghadab, which later on becomes to rage and anger. And ghadab, al-ghadabu narun muqadah, man kadhamahu atfa'aha, wa man atlaqahu kana awwala muhtarqin biha. Ghadab, anger, is like a fire that is hidden. If you let it go and you let it control yourself, basically to become rage and basically to control your behavior, it's like if you seal it, you turn it off. But if you let it go, you will be the first one who will be burned in that fire that you let to burn. And again, if we see people who become angry, first, they're hurting themselves. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, they're hurting themselves before they're hurting someone else. So what do we need to do? And what happens when we become angry? What happens within our physical body? What happens to our hormones? We'll talk about it. Allah says in Quran chapter 3, verse 134, Surah Al Imran, الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. Those who spend benevolently in ease as well as in adversity, and those who restrain their anger and pardon men. Restraining. Why do we have to restrain it? Why should we don't let this anger to become as a rage, which we typically do within our own family, within our own household, friends, relatives, co-worker, classmates, school, community. We're sitting here, or when we go out for iftar, somebody says something that I don't like, or shows objection to what I said, or criticize me, I become angry. I'll take it once, twice, and then alaykum salam, I show rage. Why is it? Why is it that we don't take that criticism anymore? What happens inside of us? That anger transfers to rage. There's a chemical change happening inside of us when that anger goes to rage, which is very, very dangerous. Release of epinephrine within our body. This hormone, when we become angry, it's been released into our body, which is very, very dangerous. It is needed for a specific time and a specific place. When we feel danger, epinephrine is needed to be released within our blood for us to either fight or flight. But it's only for that purpose. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave it to us for that purpose, not when somebody criticizes us, not when somebody objects us, not when somebody says something that we didn't like, for it to be coming into action. A hormone, so what is epinephrine? A hormone secreted by the adrenal medulla upon stimulation by the central nervous system and responds to stress, anger, to increase heart rate, blood pressure, cardiac output, and carbohydrate metabolism. All of these things happens when we become angry and that transfers to rage. It's a beautiful experiment they have done in Discovery Channel. They brought a boxer, a champion. They wanted to see what does epinephrine do to his body. And we can see the result, unfortunately, within a lot of individuals within the community. They brought him first and they put a dummy in front of him. They told him, naturally, just punch this dummy. The force that he brought to this dummy, at the natural, it was 600 pounds of force. Then, they brought his trainer. For 30 seconds, he made him ready. He pumped him. He made him angry very, very viciously. That he said, when I reach there, I feel myself to be like a pit bull, a dog. Allah says, a human being can reach a place that he becomes like an animal or even worse than animal. He said, when I reach that level, he himself says it, I become like a pit bull, like a dog, I fight. So he stands next to his ears and he tells him things. He screams at him that, remember the time that you failed, and remember. He really gets angry, and then that rage, he punches it. He punches that dummy. The force, then, it was 1,000 pounds. From natural 600 to 1,000. And then they wanted to see if we don't make him angry ourselves, but we give him shots of epinephrine. What happens to him? We are adding this epinephrine to his blood to see what happens. They add to him, without him personally become angry, he punches it for the third time. It wasn't as high as when he naturally became angry. It was only 900. How much force a human body can put, how much force that hormone that has been released to our body can bring, and can be very, very deadly. And read the statistics. How many people a year, they die because of road rage? They're driving, somebody comes in front of them, and then what happens? How many people die in fight that they really got angry, and that anger transferred to rage, and one punch, one thing that they did, and all of them unanimously say, that moment, we didn't see anything else. That was the black curtain in front of our eyes. We didn't see anything. And I don't know what happened. How it happened, I don't know. That's why our Imam is teaching us, restrain it. Don't let the anger become into rage, because it becomes deadly. And it brings regrets until last day of your life, if that causes a person to die, which a lot of people die when that thing happens. When we get to that limit, which we don't want, regrets. What can we do? We know the symptom. We know what it causes, and we want to treat it. We don't want to become angry on our wife or husband. We don't want to become angry on our kids. Last time I became angry and I screamed. Later on, I regret it. I went to the bed and I kissed my son or daughter. I said, okay, sorry. And I said to myself, I'm not going to become angry anymore. What happens? We have to change our perspective to this world and to our life. A couple of things we have to do. Number one, we have to start thinking and convincing ourselves that life is difficult. That life in this dunya, it's not easy. A person comes to the imam and says, oh imam, I want you to do dua for me. Imam says, what is it that you want? He said, imam, pray that Allah make my life easy. Imam said, Allah has not created that day in this dunya. Every day is a challenge. Who can raise their hand right now by me asking this question that, do you don't have any problem? Can somebody say it, raise their hand and say, no, I don't have any problem. I'm living my life, alhamdulillah, good. Financially set, family relationship set, within the community, my reputation, my education, my career, everything is set. Nobody can raise their hand. Everybody is suffering somehow. Because when we see and when we think that we can reach a day that it's alhamdulillah, a good day without any problem, without any difficulties, or we see some people that we think always, if I reach that level, if I become like that person, I'm not going to have any more problem. Anything that blocks me makes me angry. And that anger becomes to rage again. And not comparing ourselves to anyone. So life is difficult. Everyone is facing difficulties. And for us not to compare ourselves to anyone else. I'll give you an example of my own life. Many, many years ago, Allah has blessed me with 4 kids. And I saw a family that they have 2 boys. I always compared my own sons to their son. Why my son is not like their son? Why? And whatever my son would have done, it would have made me angry. But when I got to a point that no, he has some other problem that he's challenging. And when I sat with him and I talked, I found out that something else makes him angry. So I stopped comparing myself, my family, my situation, my personality to someone else. No. This is who I am. I will try myself to become perfect every day for me to enhance myself. I will do. But I'm not comparing myself to anyone else. I am who I am. And I'm proud of myself for the accomplishment that I have achieved. And I will try harder and harder and harder every day. Let's have a loud salawat and please move forward. Let's have another loud salawat. So places that we have to be careful. We have to remind ourselves. And as I've said last year, I remember I said it many nights. Everything good that we talk about, first, where should we apply it? Anybody can answer? And your own family. We see when we come outside with our coworker or classmate or within our community, it's easy to control our anger and rage. We control it. But as soon as we go home, we are completely the opposite. Between 2 brothers, as soon as one says one word, the second says the second word, the punch comes with the 3rd word. With people outside, mashallah, alhamdulillah, even people object to us, very good. But as soon as I go home, my wife says something, that's it. World War III starts within our household. But outside, people told me whatever they could say, but I controlled it. But when I come home, my husband is saying something, he was tired, he said something. Oh my God, I knew you didn't love me from the first day that we got married. Mom, I'm coming, get the Uber ready. Everything we say, we started where? Home. Within our own family, within our own wife and husband and parents and children. And then community, then society. When we are criticized, that's the time to see if I have reached the level that I can control my anger. And not to get to rage. How dare you criticize me? I'm Sheikh, you criticize me? You think you know better than me? Well, I know that I wasn't able to control it. When something in me came and told me that you should tell him back. They should not say something like this to you. No. Alaykum as-salam. So our reaction to the time when we become angry, we have 4 options. We said anger and then rage. We have 4 options. Number 1, transferring anger to rage, which typically, and that rage, again, either it's physical for some people screaming, some people bad-mouthing, it's different, kicking or doing something, going the door when the mom said, can you come help me? I go in the door and I close the door behind myself. That is rage. Or when I walk toward my room because my parent asked me to do something and I hit my feet on the ground, that is rage. That anger has transferred to rage. That's first option, which we said it's regretful, it's deadly, it can be deadly, and it is dangerous. So we forget about this first reaction. Second, alaykum as-salam, swallowing our anger. When we become angry, swallow it. Western psychologists and theorists, they disagree with this option also. They say when you swallow, you start hating people because you were not able to say it to them. And you keep swallowing. So first you start hating people. And then you start hating yourself. And then you start hating your life. And you become depressed. So let's put this aside right now. Third, expressing our anger. That's something that can be done. And me researching through the teachings of Islam and the words of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, I didn't find it to be problematic to express your anger. No. Tell people why you are angry. What makes you angry? This has become my routine. Every time that I do nikah of a newly-wed couple, I go and I do the nikah, I give them a couple of advices. One advice that I tell them that is good for all of us at any given age that we are in, no matter how long we have been married, practice this. This makes you calm. This makes your life, if it's both off from work and you're not working, tell one another what angers you and what satisfies you. Because maybe your partner doesn't know what angers you or what satisfies you. Tell them. Tell them that first, for example, when we went out, you did say something, that word angers me. That characteristic of yours angers me. When we went to your parents' house, you didn't wait for me to eat. You ate before me. That angers me. Just tell them. Communicate with them what angers you. Because we are living with one another for our entire life until the last day of our life. So the person should know, we assume that our wife or husband knows what angers us, and we don't tell them, and they keep doing it, and we become angry. And then they keep doing it, and we become angry, and we call Sheikh Mustafa Akhound, where is the paperwork for talaq? So expressing ourselves, it's a good way to start with. A community member does something to you, if he did it again and again and again, tell him, sorry brother, this thing angers me, or I don't appreciate it, very nicely. And I tell you, when you do that, people are not going to like it. Well, it's better than for you to have rage and do something deadly to them. Let them dislike you for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. They think, oh, look at this guy. He's very arrogant, and he think that he... Well, it's okay. Again, it's picking between two evil, if we call the second one evil. No, I'm expressing myself. I don't like this attitude. For example, if you're standing somewhere in a line, somebody cuts you in the line, either you can go and become physical or say, sorry, end of the line is there. Can you go in the line? Just expressing our anger. And the fourth, anger management. That needs whole lecture by itself. But at least we can start with expressing our anger. What causes anger than rage? Thinking that I have not achieved my goals in life. 2, it was you that made me angry, not me. You made me angry. You caused my anger. No, I became angry. You violated my rights. As you can see, within these sentences, it's nothing about me. No, I'm innocent. It is outside force which is making me angry. No, it is me who I decide when I decide to become angry or not. Bad individual must be punished, and I have the right to punish you. So when my son does something, I go through these lines within a matter of seconds. That I have not achieved my goal. My goal was to do something and you stopping me. It was you that made me angry. You violated my rights. You are a bad individual and bad people should be punished, and I have the right to punish you. Within a couple of seconds, I raise my hand on my son. And God forbid, inshallah, none of us, alhamdulillah, it's far, 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 far away from us, alhamdulillah, husband beating their wife. None of us. This is for people 100 miles to the east of this place. None of us, alhamdulillah. But we have, unfortunately, some cases. So what made me to go to that level is these points. So right now we need action plans. I know I'm not going to let you go without an action plan every night. Because Ramadan is a month of action plan. It's for us to do something. How can we cure it? How can we let our anger, other than expressing it, how can we let this anger not to become to rage and then become physical? Number one, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying dhikr and istighfar and salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. My sons, they know me. When I become angry, I do a lot of istighfar. So they come to me like, Dad, what made you angry? Because you're doing a lot of istighfar. I say, okay, what you did, it was wrong. It's good for them to know that when you become angry, you do istighfar. Number two, there's a very beautiful statement that we can say within dua. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَلَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ الْعَلِيِّ الْعَظِيمِ. So during that moment, at work, in school, within the community, wife and husband, we're talking. I can see that the wife is doing her best or my husband doing his best to get me to that level of bursting out. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-Ali al-Azim. Bismillah, try to calm. Not Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. That doesn't work. No. Trying to calm myself as much as possible. Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam have taught us. That's the beauty of our religion. The hadith says, if you're standing, sit. If you sit, lay down. Or leave the place. Go do wudu. Calm yourself wudu. If we truly go to teachings of Ahlul Bayt at time of need, we start appreciating it. But if I don't see wudu, cure for my anger, and my friend tells me, if you become angry, that means you have depression. And you have depression, you have to go to psychiatrists, and then these medicines. As soon as I became angry, okay, where's my medicine? Wallah, Allah has given us the medicine. Do wudu. We do once, twice, 3 times. I say istighfar, I do salawat, I remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I practice it. We go home tonight, and the wife sitting in the car says, did you hear what Sheikh Mustafa said? Yes, I heard it. No, did you hear what he said? Yeah, I heard what he said. Okay, astaghfirullah, rabbi atubu alayh. It didn't work, Sheikh. Well, when you take medicine, it's not going to be overnight. That needs practice and always remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dua and asking Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam for help. When Imam Zayn al-Abidin, let's have salawat by his name. When he comes within this beautiful dua Makarimul Akhlaq, he brings the statement, oh Allah, help me to restrain my anger and my rage. It shows us what? That ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it. Ask. At the time of dua comes, the al-qad comes. At the time of adhan is one of the times that is dua mustajab. If I see myself angry, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, help me control my anger and rage. We always ask about money, finance, house, good wife, good husband, children, education, good grades, and so on and so forth, and paying the bills. Well, let me think of these things that I definitely need, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not be attached to anything. An expectation. Unfortunately, many times that wife and husband, they come to me for counseling, I see throughout their talk, it's all about expectation. Well, he didn't do such and such and such. Or she didn't do such and such and such. We went there and he didn't do this for me. And then she didn't do that. All expectation. That's the second advice I always give to newlywed couple. Expectation, zero. Is it easy? I tell you it's not. Experience is not. Doable? Of course. Every day I remind myself, expectation from my lovely wife, zero. Expectation from my husband, zero. Again, I remind myself, and I built on that. Everything needs practice. And practice makes, alhamdulillah, some people are with me, some people not. Practice makes, thank you. So let me see that you guys are with me, that fasting all these hours haven't made you completely faint here, and we have to bring some water and sugar. Don't take things personally. We take a lot of stuff personally. Person walks in here, didn't say salam. Oh my God. You don't say salam to the sheikh when you walk in here? How dare you? Why we take things personally? Or they didn't give, I was standing in line, somebody came and did something. What a beautiful religion we have. What a beautiful teachings we have. Hadith says, احمل كلام أخيك على 70 محمل. Take the word or the action of your brother, give him 70 chances. 70 chances. Somebody comes and says something to me, to my face. Bad mouths me to my face. One chance. Well, maybe he doesn't know the meaning of the word he said. Number two. Well, maybe he was telling it to someone else and he was looking at me. Number three. Maybe it just came out of his mouth. Number four. He didn't mean it. Number five. Number six. 70 chances. I come home, my wife is doing something. She didn't bring the food on time. That's it. She doesn't love me. Husband come home and he's looking at the phone and he puts the phone like this. Oh, why did he put the phone upside it? Oh, he has some messages. He doesn't want me to see it. Where did the 70 chances go? As the teachings of Ahlul Bayt. Our Ahlul Bayt. 70 chances. How many? How many? 70 chances. We go all the way to the last one. Forget about the 70. All the way to the last one. Letting go of things, we don't like to let go of things that doesn't go our way. No, it has to be my way. Either my way or highway. And again, based on experience, these are the things that I'm talking to myself. I'm preparing myself. But I'm saying it loudly, sharing with everybody what I have learned from the teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Letting things go the way it's going. Okay, if I can change it, if not, I'll try again, and I try again, and I try again. And I try again for the 100th time. And we conclude with a couple of hadith, one or two, from the life of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam to beautify our gathering. Let's have salawat by their names. A person comes from the desert to Rasulullah and he says, Rasulullah, advise me one thing. One thing. I'm about to leave. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, La taghdab. Don't become angry. He said, this is it? He said, yes. He left. He came back again. Any more advice? He told him, La taghdab. Don't get angry. He came back for the third time. Rasulullah, any advice? He said, La taghdab. Scholars, when they analyze this hadith, they argue that Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt, typically they don't repeat something to someone again and again and again. They bring different things, different advices, and they add to it. But this was enough for him, and it was necessary for him and for you and I, and the importance of Rasulullah emphasizing again and again and again on it. What is the blessing of it? If I started, inshallah, I make a determination that from tonight I'm not going to be angry. Is there any rewards? Is there any thawab? Of course it is. Our first Imam tells us the reward. That if you do, this is the reward. Let's have salawat by the name of Imam Ali alayhi salam. قال عليه السلام: من كظم غيظا وهو قادر على إنفاذه. The one who restrains his rage even though he is capable of letting it go. وحلم, he is peace, he's become calm, he becomes حليم. عنه أعطاه الله أجر شهيد. Allah gives him the thawab of a murder, a shaheed, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We always say, oh Imam Hussein, yet we wish we were with you on the day of Ashura, fighting with you, we become shaheed. Imam says, okay, today, control your anger, restrain it, Allah gives you thawab of shaheed. Is it easy? No, it's difficult. But this month is the month for us to practice it. Let's have another loud salawat. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا.